Hi guys, John here again. I'm going to talk about the ENTEXS remediation platform. What you see here is the RMD-T200. This allows you to run up to 200 kilos of input product per day of processing. And so this is meant for larger scale processing. We have several different product lines that we offer. A T70, this is our T200, and then we have the larger systems as well. But the way we design and lay out this equipment is, this is a batch continuous operation. Each of these processing vessels here allow you to run the 200 kilos a day. We allow for a 72-hour processing window. That means this tank can run up to 72 hours. Of course, that can be optimized based on your input product. And that is the reason we have 3 tanks, is because you want to allow every day for product to be put into the equipment and removed while one of this process tanks is running. So that's why we call it batch continuous. Every day we can run 200 kilos of product input. Up to, you can run less than that, of course. So we're just going to talk a little bit about how this technology works and how it's different from some of the other methods for THC remediation. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the remediation process. So when you extract crude oil from hemp biomass, you're left with a concentrate that has more than the 0.3% here in the States legal limit. You're usually around 2.5–3% of THC content. Overseas, that legal limit's lower than that even, depending on what country you're in. So one method is dilution, so you can take that and you can mix it with other things to bring that overall THC content down. And then the other method is, of course, separation or THC removal, which allows you to really concentrate that CBD and use it at its full potential. So some of the other methods that are used to remove THC are chromatography, of course, and there's other processes that are similar to this in terms of a thermal process to remove that THC. What differentiates this equipment from some of those other methods are, number one, the OpEx of operating the equipment. When compared to chromatography, there's really no comparison to run this process. And in addition, this process is very easily able to be scaled. You know, like I said, this is really our middle of the line system in terms of throughput, and this is a large system compared to chromatography. So that's number one. The second thing is we can achieve a very low CBD loss rate when we're remediating the THC out of the product. And so what we can achieve with this is a less than a 5% CBD loss rate over the remediation cycle. And so you can remediate down to less than the 0.3% here in the States limit, or down to non-detect. Now, how do we use the equipment? So of course, the first thing you do is to put the product into the processing vessels. The customer can use their own means to do that. We offer a heated transfer cart that allows the product to be pumpable, so you can pump that product into the equipment and also take the product out of the equipment. So that's something we offer, or depending on how you're using the transferring your product, you can just pour it into the equipment or pump it in yourself. Once the product's in the processing vessel, the whole process runs autonomously and continuously in the background. You don't have to do anything from an operator standpoint. There's a control GUI on the side of the equipment, which we'll walk through. From that point, you press start. Like I mentioned, we have a thermal process that runs. It's all closed loop controlled and automated. You don't have to touch anything. So once you press start on the HMI, everything from there runs automated. There's no user interface that's required. If you as an operator want to sample the product and take HPLC analysis of your THC and CBD over the processing window, of course that is a sampling thing that the customer has to do. But besides that, everything runs in the background. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how to use the equipment. So first thing you have to do is put product into this processing vessel to start the process. We offer a heated transfer cart that allows you to pump the product into the equipment and also pump product out of the equipment once it's complete, the process is complete. Or as a customer, you can use whatever means that you want to put product into the vessel. After there's product in here, the only thing you have to do is press start on the GUI, which we'll show over here. And from that point, everything runs as an automated process. So we have temperature sensors, level sensors, injection meters for the FDA organic solvent that we run. And we also have our CanaSpec, which is our real-time THC and CBD reader, which allows you to track CBD and THC in real time over the remediation cycle. So we recommend cold ethanol extracted crude as your input product to this. That mates well with all of our extraction systems and has been proven to offer a less than a 5% yield loss as your final remediated product. And that's what we have the most test data on. Another very valuable processing product that's run in this is mother liquor. So right now there's a lot of mother liquor out there from isolation, from crystallization, that really goes to waste because your THC content in that is quite high. It's well over 5% typically. And so what this piece of equipment is useful for, very useful for, is taking that product, dropping the THC out down to non-detect or down to the level you want, and then now you can take that and run it as a really a tea-free distillate, or you can run it back to isolate and get higher efficiencies of your isolate because you don't have that THC in there that prevents crystallization. So here we are at the GUI for controlling the remediation system. So after you put your product into the equipment, really the only thing you have to do is come over here and start the cycle. So it's very simple. You press start on the cycle. You can enter a serial number or a batch number for what you're processing, and you continue, and then this runs. So everything now is controlled and monitored via the controller and the automation loop. As you can see down here, we have real-time THC and CBD values. These are fed back from our CanaSpec real-time NIR near-infrared sensor. This is a very important piece of equipment that we put on our processing systems, because what this does is it closes the loop on the control system to be able to stop the process at the optimized time, so you can remediate your THC all the way out without losing CBD. If you run this process longer than an optimized time, you can start burning off your CBD, which could jeopardize your whole batch or product. So this is a very important piece of the process that allows you to run this to that optimum point and stop the process. And so that feeds back to the system, and it stops the process at the user-defined set point of THC remediation. So from a user interface standpoint, the process runs. You can plot real time, you can look at data over time, and you can really see how the system's performing. You can output data values, performance trends, and everything else that you might want for the system. Thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit about ENTEXS and our technologies. We look forward to hearing from you.